Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook and on the free Odyssey app.
No Mitch Thunder Nelles today. No Mason Crosby today. And we need to do something for Thunder's birthday. I mean, he is 50 years old today. What's his Twitter account? Thunder MKE. Is that what it is, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Thunder MKE.
Yes.
So do we have any fun pictures of Thunder taking at some point
I
that we can post?
I did tweet out on my personal Twitter at TommyWSSP. I have a good video of Mitch Thunder Nelles dancing at a Bucks game. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I'll take that and post it with the Wisconsin Sports Radio Twitter account. Let's go to 20,000 people.
All right.
Let's put it out there. And then
is that a shot at me?
let's have people. Well, I mean, I guess kind of. How many followers do you have?
I don't know.
It's not 20,000.
Okay. No, it's not.
No, it's not 20,000. So all I want y'all to do is wish Thunder happy 50th birthday. And then if you have funny Thunder stories that you would like to tell as well that we could read on the air, you can use the Nicolay Law Talk and text line. That's always open for you as well throughout the show from noon until 2. Heck, I'm hosting the next 2 shows. So we'll do this all the way to 5 o'clock. We can make fun of Thunder if you'd like. Nicolay Law Talk and text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Happy 50th to Mitch Nelles today. Coming up on the show today at 12:20, Brandon Sprague, host of Dirt and Sprague on 105.1 The Fan in Portland, a guy that I've been on his show a ton over the years. He's been on my show a ton over the years. Reached out to him last night as the Trailblazers are being lined up to potentially be a match for the Milwaukee Bucks. However, when we talk about it from that perspective, that also then would mean that Giannis, Drew Holiday, and Damian Lillard essentially would all be together again. And how about this little rinky-dink too? What if Middleton gets bought out and he becomes available and they reunite all of them in Portland to make a run in Portland?
This is just Aaron Rodgers, New York Jets behavior.
Or Mike McCarthy, Steelers right now. He's going back and getting every old Packer coach alive.
Wants to play with all his friends as long as he possibly can. And you said again, it would be the first time Dame and Drew were teammates with Giannis at the same time, right? Yes. They were traded for each other in that deal. But, I mean, what a full circle the NBA could come into if Portland, of all teams, ends up with Giannis Antetokounmpo.
I mean, I've never been to Portland, but is Portland that much better to go live in than Milwaukee?
I kind of, in my head, envision it as Milwaukee in Oregon. I don't think of it as much different.
We have a source actually in our building. Brett Andrews, who works at the sister station here in Milwaukee, worked in Portland for a couple of years doing radio. We should grab him, throw him on the air, and see what the difference between Portland and Milwaukee
Well, and
is.
there is a Milwaukee, Oregon. It's just spelled differently.
Correct.
Yeah, that's the other one, too.
Yes.
So that's
and
maybe why.
Oregon, Wisconsin.
Right. So I always just think of it as it might as well just be there's towns like that all over America where it's Cleveland is just Milwaukee in Ohio to me. Portland is just Milwaukee in Oregon to me. Some along those lines.
So it'd be fun to see what Brandon Sprague has to say about the real chances he thinks that this actually going down between Portland and Milwaukee from the Trailblazers perspective, from the fans perspective, and so forth. We'll do that coming up at 12:20. We got some Brewers conversation we'll get into today as well. Lots of a couple of Giannis topics we'll get into. But we got to start off with the Green Bay Packers. Have to. Matt Schneidman of The Athletic, who is on the 9 to noon with John Kuhn show all the time, is on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh all the time, does his job very well. Put out this piece in The Athletic today. And he put out his top 10 needs and then said, hey, look, you could improve from within. That's how you fix the issue, or you improve from the outside through free agency, draft, trade, whatever the case may be. Let's go in reverse order, shall we?
Yeah.
So he says the number 10 one is getting a middle linebacker because Quay Walker obviously is going to be an unrestricted free agent. Now, I would tend to agree with you that middle linebacker is something that you would need to look at. And we've been having this conversation on Wisconsin Sports Daily about Edgerrin Cooper, right? So does it make more sense for him to be outside as an edge rusher and take him off the middle of the field and use his athleticism to maybe go get the quarterback more? Or does it make more sense to leave him in the middle of the field where he has been and essentially, put the green dot on his helmet, let him call the plays and all that, and then essentially Tyron Hopper plays next to him, or you draft another middle linebacker.
McDuffie's still in the building too.
Yep.
You know what? I think of this in the reverse with the middle linebacker position. You remember the Clay Matthews experiment of moving him from the outside to the inside, and it worked out so well. And I think that was because you could better showcase the athleticism of Clay Matthews at middle linebacker than you could at edge rusher. He ended up going back. He didn't really like it as much, but I think that with the third middle linebacker spot being at 10 here from Matt Schneidman, he doesn't explicitly say this, but I would still think that probably leads to optimism that Quay Walker is back next year for the Green Bay Packers, if it's that far up on the list.
I think if you're the Green Bay Packers, what I want to know is, how did you grade him? Because ESPN, when they put out their ranking of free agents, Quay Walker, I believe it's top 20 of free agents available. If you go look at Pro Football Focus, they have him graded as one of the lowest linebackers in the NFL. So which way do the Packers have him graded with inside of this defense? That's number one. Number two is coordinators are changing. So what does Jonathan Gannon want out of that position? It may be different than what Jeff Hafley was doing with Quay Walker, and he may want a different type of linebacker that has different traits and different skill sets than maybe what he had.
Well, and I just think that the speed of Quay Walker and the speed of the Packers defense was the highlight of it last year. Even when Micah Parsons is out there, he's just so much faster than any other edge rusher. And putting Quay and Edgerrin Cooper, we brought it up a lot this year, and it was one of the reasons why they were so effective at stopping the Lions in the regular season. The inability to run the ball outside the tackles because of those two middle linebackers, like, that was very, like, don't take that for granted with what they had with Edgerrin Cooper and Quay Walker. I do think that there is something to be said about those two specifically playing next to each other. If you're going to move on from Quay Walker, I think it's at a fair spot on the list.
All right, so middle linebacker is 10. Number 9 is the kicker. Listen, I'm going to be in the minority on this one. This should not be on the list. Brandon McManus is the kicker. Let's just move on. Why in the world, if you're Brian Gutekunst, do you want to go try and play this game in the offseason? The last time you played this game, you failed miserably at it, and you caught a break that McManus was out for off-the-field issues or whatever. You were able to get him in, and then you signed him to a long-term deal. Do not hold against Brandon McManus the idea that he was playing hurt for a good part of this season and trying to play through it. Now, you can say, well, McManus should have said something and pulled himself off the field and made the other guy kick. Fine, you can say that. But when he came back, what do you have? 13 straight field goals made. And then obviously in that playoff game, he cost him the game. I understand. But I'm telling you, field goal kickers are not easy to come by, especially when you start talking about kicking in Lambeau with the wins and everything else. Sure. The more experience you get kicking in those elements, the better you become at it, the more of an advantage you have as a kicker kicking in Green Bay. To make that switch again, I think is asking for trouble.
Well, it's just a prime UDFA candidate coming in to give some competition, right? I think McManus is going to have the edge, but they're going to bring a kicker
the other
in.
Kid, they signed back again.
Yeah, Hale, right? And they obviously brought in Haversick last year, right? I think they're going to back.
They signed him again.
They're going to give him some competition. I mean, you have to after the late season performance out of him. I don't necessarily think it's a massive need on this team. I would rather just go out there and rock with Brandon McManus with another year of experience, like you said, kicking in Lambeau. I mean, I work with Crosby every day here. He's had years where it was atrocious to be a kicker at some points at Lambeau Field, and he figured it out. Like you said, the more experience you have kicking there, I like. Look at what happened when you brought in an Anders Carlson to try to fix things for a year. It didn't go over well. And what was Braden Narvison? I couldn't think of the other guy's name too. But just another, like, bringing a rookie kicker into kicking Lambeau, it has not gone well in recent memory.
Okay, so now we get to the next one on the list. Now again, remember, the other thing about this kicker thing is the special teams coordinator that went out and got the last two kickers or stomped for the last two guys is still there. Same guy. Mm-hmm. Rich Bisaccia is still there, who wanted Carlson and then wanted Narvison. Same dude. We're going to go play this game again. Again, I don't think it should be on the list. Number 8, tight end depth. I guess. Sure. We can go get another tight end to back up behind Kraft and Musgrave at this point. Because, again, you have John Fitzpatrick and some of these other guys. Josh Wiley was on this team. To me, it's not something that needs to be addressed necessarily.
It's not something the Packers utilize. They don't. I mean, how many John Fitzpatrick, did he have 15 catches this year? I would be surprised if looking at his numbers right now.
He's a free agent who has a torn ACL.
Yeah, right. The Achilles. He's not coming off of that. He had 12 catches all season long, being the number 3 tight end for most of the year, right? And even with Tucker Kraft going down week 8, 9, whatever it was at that point, like, it's not something the Packers dive deep into their bag on the depth in their offense at the tight end position. So I agree with you. I would put kicker above that.
Yes, I would put kicker above that too, I guess. For me, a kicker and the backup tight end wouldn't be on my list. I think you could do this in top 5 versus top 10.
The next one on this list, Sparky, how many teams would write this on this list?
Backup quarterback.
Every
team should write it on their list, if we're being honest.
Really?
With the amount of injuries that happen in the National Football League and the way guys go down in this league with 17 games, soon to be 18 games here at some point, I think the backup quarterback is very, very big. How many teams around the National Football League can you go, okay, if my backup quarterback plays, we're going to go 3 wins out of 3 chances with him at quarterback? How many of those teams can you say, if my backup quarterback comes in, we can still beat a really good football team with him in the football game? I just don't think there are a lot of those teams out there. There's probably 5 to 10 teams maybe, and the rest are screwed if their leading guy goes out. Now you have to then determine, okay, so which way do you go with this, right? Do you go with an old dude like Flacco and say, here you go, you're going to be the backup to Jordan Love if something goes wrong? Do you keep Desmond Ridder, who is horrible in Atlanta, and try and coach him up like you did Malik Willis?
Clayton Tune. We're out on Clayton Tune.
Out on Clayton Tune.
All right.
But then they got Kyle McCord they just brought in, right? So McCord is a guy that was really good in college. So maybe you coach him up at this point. I personally would rather have a grizzly old vet that can come in there and play versus trying to coach somebody up. But that was their choice on Malik Willis. We're going to coach him up and figure it out. And that very well may be the choice here. Why? Because it's cheap and it doesn't cost you anything.
So you would say you'd rather have a old vet to be that backup. Yeah. However, the 2 different play styles of Jordan Love and Malik Willis seem to benefit Malik Willis more often. If you brought in a guy like a Joe Flacco to be the backup in Green Bay, both similar pocket passers. Obviously, Jordan can use his legs better.
Change then.
But the offense changed when Malik Willis came in, and that was his benefit, that you were planning for someone else, and then they could completely switch paths. So while an old vet makes sense, I think that the reason why the backup quarterback position was so effective for Malik Willis is that he got a brand new offense every time.
Right. Number 6, offensive line depth. Now, again, he gets into specifics later in his biggest needs for this Packers team. This is just backups kind of across the board. We'll move on. Number 5 is the center position. I do mock drafts every night when I'm at home since, beginning of the month, once the Packers got eliminated. And last night and the last few nights, I've been taking a center in the 3rd round, consistently taking a center in the 3rd round. And the 2nd round, I'm going D tackle or cornerback. Now, again, these mock drafts are all going to change a million times over. Once you get through the combine numbers, once you get through the personal workouts, these boards are going to fluctuate quite a bit, obviously. So what I decide by the time we get to the draft and what I have now, who knows? Plus, you'll have a lot more time to look at stuff and highlights and all this other stuff and make up your own mind what you want to do. But I think that center position, if Sean Ryan goes somewhere and signs a deal, right, and says, hey, it's been real, I'm out of here. If he goes and signs, say, a John Runyon deal, right? I mean, Runyon was okay, but he wasn't great, I don't think, for the Packers. He went and cashed out and got a nice deal. Runyon may go do the same thing. Elton Jenkins has to be a cap casualty. I don't see how he's not. So then it's, okay, what now do we do at that center position? Is Monk the guy that goes in and plays center, or do we go draft somebody else?
Well, and looking at it on spot track here, Josh Myers would free up $6 million in cap space too, being a center in New York.
You bring him back?
Well, I'm just saying he was a pretty affordable option that the Packers decided to not go with, and you get a guy with some familiarity in that locker room there. It's, he is under contract in 27, so maybe not, but I'm just saying they would save some money if they could find a way to get some cap casualty on him.
So those are the top 5 needs, according to Matt Schneidman of The Athletic.
Or the first 5.
The first 5, from 5 to 10, right? So the top 4 we have not revealed yet. We'll do that coming up after we talk to our next guest coming up. Brandon Sprague, host of Dirt and Sprague on 105.1 The Fan in Portland. They just landed a deal with Jason Barrett Sports Media, top 20 mid-major morning show.
I think their FM signal pretty new too out there.
Just got it.
Yep. So that's brand new.
They just got it. Absolutely right. Brandon Sprague will join us next. Give us his thoughts. The Trailblazers, Giannis, is their deal to be done? How excited are Portland fans to try and get this deal done? That's all straight ahead. The Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Sparky in for Mason Crosby and Thunder, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Sparky in for Mason Crosby and for Mitch Thunder Nelles. However, getting word now that apparently Thunder wants to work on his 50th birthday. Mm-hmm. So what's the deal, Tommy Wirtz?
He's going to be coming on at 1.
He's coming on at 1. So I'm out at 1. He's in at 1. I'm kind of bummed. I was looking forward to 2 hours of me and Tommy Wirtz.
Dude, Josh asked me today, I mean, serious as a heart attack. Have you ever done a show with Sparky?
Nope. Tommy's done every show on the station.
It's like, does that mean, are we not counting Green Bay football post-game show? He's like, no, I meant the other one. I'm like, yeah, like beforehand when everyone else was taking off and there was no one else to work, it was me and Sparky filling in for everyone. So
we're everywhere. We're everywhere you want us to be, and probably more than you want us to be.
I guess, yes. Josh. Yes, I have.
Joining us now, a guy that everybody loves listening to in Portland. He is Brandon Sprague, host of Dirt and Sprague, 105.1 The Fan in Portland. Follow him on X at Brandon Sprague. Congratulations, top 20 mid-major morning show from Jason Barrett. Nicely done.
Is that happened? That's a thing?
You don't even know? How do you not know this? Clue. Really?
How would I know this?
Because they sent an email to you telling you that. Oh man.
What?
Let me see if I can find
emails.
it.
I don't read my email.
You don't read your emails. That's stellar. That's good. Let's see here if I can dial it up here and see where you're at. Okay, so. And again, for people that don't know, these are voted on by a bunch of like PDs and stuff around the country that listen to all the shows and so forth. Like, it's pretty legit in my mind, the way that Jason Barrett.
Hold on. Look,
you are 17th.
Okay.
Dirt and Sprague, 17th in the top 20. That's pretty good,
man. Does that
man.
come with a bonus? Do I get a bonus check in the mail for 17?
Hey, you get Sparky recognizing you. Yeah.
That's up to you if you put it into your contract. I mean, that's up to you, man. I don't know.
I mean, no disrespect here to anybody out there, because I do appreciate people like Barrett covering our business, but like, we really buy that PDs are listening to radio stations.
I don't know. All I'm saying is there are 50 shows that were eligible and you were 17th. That's pretty good. That's top half. That's good.
Okay. There you go. You've made my Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm trying. Make my Tuesday now. Don't trade for Giannis. So listen, people that don't know our history. So this dude here, he always gets me out normally when things are going bad in Milwaukee or Green Bay, whatever the case may be. And then they have fun at my expense. And now there's a legitimate chance that they could rip our heart out in Milwaukee and take our best player. I'm curious as to how Trailblazers fans are dealing with all of the rumors and innuendo. I would assume that they're ecstatic and hoping this happens.
Well, first of all, I actually contemplated having you on the other day, Sparky, because the good news was that you guys extended Matt LaFleur. And as a Niner fan, I'm ecstatic about that. You guys continue to sell yourselves that Matt LaFleur is a great coach. And we in the NFC will continue to enjoy playing Matt LaFleur in the Green Bay Packers.
This is fun because Brandon Sprague, the last time or 2 times ago that I was on, I hijacked his questions for me and turned it into a Brewers topic of why everybody in the country should root for the Brewers and ruined the interview. And now he's trying to do it to me with LaFleur. I'm not going to fall for the bait. No, I'm not. I'm going to ignore you, and we're going to move on. Giannis and the Trailblazers, Brandon Sprague. Do the fans want this deal? Because it comes with a boatload of picks and some young guys like Scoot Henderson, possibly.
Well, the tough thing is actually, like, I don't know if the deal is possible unless they can get a third team to facilitate for Portland, because in season, you can't get Tamani Kamara. You have no availability for Shaden Sharp in a trade, who's 22 years old and jumps 47 inches and averaging like 20 points a game. He can't be traded until July 1st. And he has a poison pill in his contract, because he just signed a rookie extension. They're not going to trade Denny Avdia. I don't believe they would give you Donovan Clingan. So there's your young prospect, blue chip, whatever, selling the hope to the Bucs fans. Your picks are fine. Like, I know that's a good thing for us out here, but I don't know if just picks, Jeremy Grant, and some other stuff does anything for you. So
Drew Holiday gets put in the deal and gets sent back to Milwaukee. How happy would he be?
I don't think they would do that. I think they love Drew here. I think the organization generally wants Drew Holiday in a Blazer uniform. You guys would get Jeremy Grant. So how would you feel about getting Jeremy Grant for the last 2 years of his deal?
No interest. There's not a player that could make Bucs fans happy in return for Giannis Antetokounmpo. No. I don't think that it matters really in season. So Brandon Sprague, 105.1, The Fan in Portland, joining us here on the Mason Crosby Show. As Tommy Wirtz here talking to you, Brandon. Even though you're maybe not as confident right now. We still don't quite know if Giannis is or is not going to get traded at any point. If, let's say, Giannis doesn't get moved at the deadline, do you still think Portland would be in the race, or even more so in the race then, if it was this summer and he was back out on the trade market?
Well, first of all, thank you guys. Welcome to the party where your franchise players forced himself into wanting out. It sucks. It's not a good feeling.
No, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Lillard was the face of that whole deal and didn't go running away from it. Giannis is a two-face who's saying, oh, I don't want to get traded. But meanwhile, the agents on the back end are doing all the dirty work. He's trying to have his cake and eat it too. So in my mind, it's really not even the same thing. And at least Lillard was a man about it, of saying, hey, look, I want to have a chance to go win a championship, whatever the case may be. We're not even getting that out of Giannis.
Okay, counterpoint. He gave you a championship. He can have his cake and eat it too.
No, but just be straight, man. Just be straight and say you want out.
No, people don't like straight, dude. People say they like straight. They don't like straight. Dame Lillard asked out eventually because Portland forced it. They didn't want to do it. They didn't want to be the ones to say, we're going to trade Dame. They wanted Dame to say, I want to be traded. And then when Dame came back, I'm not exaggerating with you. I asked people all in my sphere, my fans that I know around the city, and half of them are like, I don't know, man. I'm still kind of burned that he asked out. To be honest with you, it's going to take a while to see him play in the uniform again. And I'm like, how are you feeling this way? So people feel all kinds of emotions, whether he asks, he doesn't ask, he plays the dance, he doesn't play the dance. I don't think there's a right way to do it. There's not. You don't want to hear a player say, I want out of the situation. You know he does. You know it doesn't make any sense. But you don't want to hear the player say that, man. It hurts. He got you guys a championship. So you don't want to hear that. You can say, like, you want the straight talk. He's kind of telling you straight talk. He's willing for a new change of scenery. He's been giving them chances over and over. It hasn't worked. The coaching decisions have been disastrous. The roster moves are terrible. I don't know what that roster is. It's a tough spot to be in if you're a Giannis.
Oh, the roster is what Giannis wanted. Everything that's happened has been what Giannis has wanted. Everything that's happened has been what Giannis has wanted. Giannis wanted Adrian Griffin out of here, so we got Doc Rivers. Instead of going and saying Nick Nurse, Giannis didn't want Nick Nurse, so instead of having Nick Nurse or Kenny Atkinson, he wanted Adrian Griffin, and then quickly changed his mind after that, and that's how we ended up with Doc Rivers, who he now likes. Like, everything that they've done legitimately is because of that dude running it. And then I saw last night that Giannis wants to be the man of the team. He wants his own team, which is currently what he currently has now in Milwaukee. But if he goes to Portland, I don't care how old Damian Lillard is, that's still Lillard's team, I would assume.
It is Lillard's team because of the history, but it's not Lillard's team. It's Denny Avdia's team. Like, the realistic situation here is Denny Avdia is an all-star this year. He's averaging like 25, 7, and 5. He's having a great season. He's 25 years old. They got him on one of the best contracts in the league. Shaedon Sharp's 22. Scoot's coming back here soon. He's the third pick from just a few years ago. Klingen's playing pretty decently well this year, considering what he was last year. Like, it's Dame's team, and he'll get a rousing ovation, but it really isn't. And evaluating the situation, I hope the organization doesn't feel how you feel. Because if your plan is to build around a 37-year-old off an Achilles who's 6'1", plays no defense, and I thought was kind of losing a little bit of step before the Achilles injury, yep, I think that would be foolish by them to run it that way. So this is Denny Avdia's team. Dame is the most beloved. He's one of the greatest Blazers to ever exist. If you can jump in the Giannis sweepstakes, great. I don't know what the package is going to be. And it may be, where they're forced to trade him now because it's so negative. But, I also look at this when they traded Dame. The organization not waiting to the offseason, I think, would be organizational malpractice. And I hear everything you're saying about the player wanted this, the player wanted that. Did the player seem happy when they just bought Dame out? Because I heard the reports that he wasn't happy about that. Was the player super ecstatic when Terry Stotts got fired because Adrian Griffin got a little in his feelings? Because I heard that wasn't well received either. So, for all the Giannis wanted this, Giannis wanted that, Giannis also didn't miss on 3 different draft picks.
Brandon.
That's the organization.
Giannis is the one that says, hey, if I don't play for a championship, I'm out, get rid of me. So the Bucks had to figure out, okay, we're out without Lillard this year. How are we going to put a championship team around him to keep him happy yet again? This has been going on for 5 years with this cat, man. This isn't something that just happened this last summer. The pressure is on consistently. They got him Drew Holiday. Then they got him Lillard. Got him 2 extensions signed. Then, oh no, Lillard is hurt.
They got 2 coach is fired in this time. Like,
too.
yes, like this started the year after the championship too, so Brandon.
You guys are going through. You guys are a more successful version, but you're going through what we went through. You're finding sides, and you're not wrong in what you're doing. You're in it every day. I'm not in Milwaukee, but also like. Do we know concretely he wanted to fire Budenholzer? Do we know concretely he forced Drew Holiday to be traded?
The Adrian Griffin deal, he did an interview with Eric Name of The Athletic, Bucks beat writer, after that, talking about how he can sleep at night because he doesn't have to worry about what they're going to do at practice the next day, and he doesn't have to worry about what they're going to run in the game. When you're running over a coach like that with a bus, I'd say we're pretty good on that one.
So but I didn't ask about Griffin. I asked about Budenholzer.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and again,
they were going to fire Budenholzer the year they won the championship.
Yes.
If they lose that series to the Nets, that's been confirmed by all the Bucks beat writers, he was gone. And then they figure out a way to win it, despite Giannis with his hyperextending knee missing games. That's the other thing. Dude misses playoff games every year. But then they overcome
He played in all their playoff games last year. He averaged 33 and 8.
And I think that was the first time in like the last 5 years he's actually played in all their playoff games. Might be actually longer than that. It might be 6 or 7 years.
So your guys' position is this is all Giannis. The Bucks are not responsible for any of the situation.
No, the Bucks are 100% responsible, but the reason they're responsible is because they are trying to appease Giannis. Yes.
Everything. The right move would have been to say, Giannis, look, man, if you love Milwaukee and you want to be in here, all that, as they now like to say, the hip thing is gap year, right? We're going to take a gap year or whatever the case may be. We're probably not going to be that good. We're going to wait out Lillard. We're going to create some cap room here by letting some of these other guys walk. And we're not going to be good, but we're going to get ourselves a lottery pick and find a star to play with you. We're going to have 3 ones available. We're going to move those and get another star. And then we reset this thing going into the following season. Okay. But he didn't want to hear that.
So Middleton and Giannis, homegrown, right? Drew traded.
Well, Middleton came in a trade, in the Brandon Jennings trade. But yes,
right. But nobody talked about Chris Middleton prior to that.
No, he was a throw-in.
Giving the Bucks credit, right?
Yep.
So
yes.
Middleton in there. Let's give him Giannis, right? Because that's a sensational development. Brooke is a trade. Like going to your title team to where you're at now. I hear everything you're saying. Superstars. Breaking news, guys. Superstars in the NBA demand a lot.
Yep.
They want to win, and when the team sucks, some of them want to bail. It happens. It happens to almost every market in the country, sans maybe Denver, because that guy cares more about horse racing. That being said, what have been your draft picks? Who has the team pick?
They traded all of them.
Drew Holiday had the picks, and Dame had the picks, and everything that they had. They were always picking in the late 20s.
The last 2-3 years, they drafted no new players.
Best player Horses drafted was DiVincenzo. And then outside of that, they've been, now again, you can be mad at John Horst on this, and I understand, right? On the opportunities where they've had picks, he's taken 18-year-olds because they've been trying to get younger for like the last 3 years, and they haven't developed, but he's traded them in other deals. Like A.J. Johnson got traded in that Wizards deal for Kuzma. Again, it's Kuzma, whatever. That wasn't good. But yeah, obviously there have been some moves. I just, from my standpoint, again, like you said, being in it, they've done everything in their power to try and make this dude happy. And now you don't even have the common courtesy just come up to a microphone and be like, hey, man, get me out. Instead, he doubles down 2 weeks ago and says, I never asked to be traded. Like, I love Milwaukee. I'll never ask to be traded. And then all of this is going on behind the scenes with his agents and Shams and whoever else is involved.
Yeah, I hear you. But, like, I think there's also an element of the organization whiffing when they did, paired with him asking for the wrong things. You both bring yourself to the situation. So, like, you can be mad at him, but you're going to celebrate him when he comes back. You're going to celebrate him when they build a statue. You're going to celebrate him when he retires his jersey. And you're not going to remember any of these little stupid things that happen because it's the end now. And so everybody's the most raw emotionally as you can possibly be. But you also have to remember, like, who the person is, right? Giannis, by nature, having read the book, very cool, wants to be liked, very funny dude. He's not known, at least for everybody outside of your market, he's not known as this super big drama diva. There's things that definitely pop up. There's no doubt. But when you grow up with people hating who you are, do you think you grow up and become an adult who's totally cool being a villain? Or do you think you grow up being somebody who's like, I don't want people to hate me, and this is something that causes hate? I'm just saying, like, there's way more to the story than just this athlete's not brave enough to face music. He's literally been facing the music every year since they lost as the 1 seed to the 8 seed. It's been Giannis can't stay healthy. Oh, Giannis wants this. It didn't work. Giannis wants that. It didn't work. And then constantly the national narrative is driving him out of your market.
Correct.
We've been asking you, Sparky, about this for 3 years. He's not going anywhere. Well, here he is. He doesn't want to leave, but he's kind of forced himself into it. But he doesn't also want to be universally hated by the fan base that has embraced him, that has loved him, that has enjoyed all his funny videos, whether they're in sexual nature or chicken nugget nature.
Yep.
So I think part of the background here is dude grew up in a country where literally they hated him because of his race, doesn't want to continue to be hated his whole life. He finds a community that loves him and doesn't want to come out and be the villain of the situation. So I'm not excusing all the decisions he's made. I'm just saying, like, there's so many layers to how a player gets to this position that it's not as cut and dry. Doesn't want to face the music. There's no way that's accurate. He's been facing the music every year since he won a championship in that city. And I also think the organization is at fault here. For one, you don't want your player to make the decisions, then don't let him make all the decisions. Two, yeah, you can trade some draft picks. I'm totally cool with that because you have a Giannis. But when you make draft picks, don't draft 18-year-olds. Guess what? Breaking news. 18-year-olds largely don't develop into the player you want until like 28 years old. Right. That's not the same timeline. Yep. And make valuable trades that make sense. That's all you had to do. Portland fleeced you guys in the Drew Holiday Dame trade. Fleeced you. And now we're sitting here with the stuff that you wish you had because we saw the situation and saw how desperate the organization was. So I hear everything you're saying. He is absolutely responsible for a lot of this. The organization also should be held equally as responsible because you don't get here unless they just cater to everything he wants and also make bad decisions.
He is Brandon Sprague, host of Dirt and Sprague on 105.1 The Fan in Portland. You see why he's a top 20 rated show now? Follow him on X at Brandon Sprague. Brandon, I appreciate you coming on. One last one. What kind of chances would you say Portland has of having him on the roster by opening day, game 1 next season?
I'm going to go with Kevin Pelton, who was on our show this morning from ESPN. He doesn't think that they have much of a chance. The Stein report felt great, but I'll say this in closing, guys, because we can agree and disagree on stuff. Let me just warn you now, as having just lived through this with Dame Lillard, it hurts right now. It's tough. It's going to feel great when he's back in your city in 2 years somehow, because that's what happened with us with Dame Lillard. So you never say truly goodbye, because you never know where Giannis will be in 2 years.
We truly said goodbye to Brett Favre, and we burned jerseys and did everything else on Brett Favre. Aaron Rodgers, we truly said goodbye to, and there's not a ton of people, I don't think, missing Aaron Rodgers at this point. And he is definitely not Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre. Let me make that very clear. But you are right. We will celebrate him with a statue unveiling and his jersey going up. Coincidentally enough, the same number as Ray Allen. So it doesn't look like Ray's getting his jersey retired. So yes, we'll celebrate that. And obviously he won a championship, which I never thought I'd see one in my lifetime. So I'll always be thankful for that. I just don't like how the whole thing's playing out. Brandon, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
You betcha. There he is, Brandon Sprague. He is a good one. I follow him on X at Brandon Sprague. I don't know how to do this, and I've had this for a while, and I've been sitting on it. We have some breaking news sent to me. Hot Stove Weekly tomorrow night from 5 to 7. Jake Bowers, Tommy's guy, at 5:30 tomorrow night. Andrew Vaughn, Brewers first baseman, at 6:30 tomorrow night on Hot Stove Weekly with Tim Allen and Tommy Wirtz. So the man crush that Tommy has on Jake Bowers will be fulfilled tomorrow, 5:30. Unfortunately, not in studio.
Yeah.
But yes, Jake Bowers will be on the show with Tim and Tommy as well. Andrew Vaughn tomorrow night.
It's the biggest episode of the year. Let's just call it what it is. Jake Bowers is on. Come on. You are so excited. You know you're excited. You know your smile came across your face. You laugh, you giggle, you smirk, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
I am concerned that we'll never get another person on the air after you go crazy with Jake Bowers.
Who else would be as excited to get Jake freaking Bowers on the show?
Nobody in the state of
Wisconsin.
And
you know it's must listen to radio because it's going to be Tommy talking to Jake Bowers finally.
Yes. It's going to be fun.
Do you think he knows who I am?
Pray for Tim Allen. I don't know if he does or not, but they should definitely give him a heads up about this dude's got a huge man crush on you, just so you know going into this. I think he'll think it's funny.
Yeah. I mean, I think he knows at least of a person is this fan of him. I don't think he knows necessarily it's me. You might be like, oh, okay. But we had Eric Tyson on 2 weeks ago, and I asked a Jake Bowers question. His words were, I've been waiting for this question. So I'm wondering if he know. Maybe not. Maybe he doesn't know who I am. But regardless,
for his sake, I hope he doesn't, and that way he won't be scared off by the interview. If he did know who you were, then I don't think he'd agree to the interview.
I don't think that it's a bad thing to have favorite players.
You're kind of over the top. Mr. Crosby Show is presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. In the first segment, we were reading over this Matt Schneidman list of the biggest needs, and we got all the way down to number 4 from number 10. So the top 4 needs still left. I am not in agreement with number 1. So we'll get into that coming up next. Welcome back. It is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Sparky in for Mason Crosby. Badgers play-by-play voice Matt LePay joined Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh this morning. If you missed it, text the keyword Badgers to the Nicolay Law Talk and text line 414-677-1250 and have it sent to your phone. That's the keyword Badgers. Text it to 414-677-1250 to hear the Matt LePay interview from earlier this morning. Badgers basketball team has been playing well, I tell you. They've been playing really well, and it was a really fun interview this morning with Matt LePay and Trevor and Josh. So again, text Badgers to the Nicolay Law Talk and text line, and they'll send you a link right to the interview, and you can listen to it right there on your phone or listen to it later, or whatever the case may be. And if you don't want to do that, you can always go to wisportsradio.com and find all of that stuff as well, or wherever you download your favorite podcast at. Joining us now, he is Al in Cedarburg on the Nicolay Law Talk and text line. What's up, Al?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Sparky, never have that Brandon guy on as a caller again. Just
Yes.
Please don't. I mean, he is the proof in the pudding of how far away the national media is from really knowing what's going on with the Bucks.
Well, he's in Portland, so he's not part of the national media, but he's outside of it, yes.
There we go. Okay. Of media in general, any outside person who's not in the city, that was the most painful thing I've ever had to listen to. So I'll move on from that. Did you just, I was talking to Tommy earlier, did you happen to see this recent trade with Memphis and Utah?
No, but Tommy has it. It
yeah,
looks like
Jaren Jackson Jr., John Conker, Jock Landale, and Vince Williams Jr. to Utah for Walter Clayton Jr., Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, and Georges Niang, and 3 future first-round picks. So Jaren Jackson Jr. going.
Memphis just quit.
They did, yes. Jaren Jackson Jr. to the Jazz.
So you nailed it with the last point was the 3 first-round picks. So this is where I come in when it's tying it to Giannis. We need to make him as miserable as possible and not trade him right now, because if you're getting 3 first-round picks in that deal for Jaren Jackson Jr., who's a center who can't rebound and the most overrated defensive player in the history of basketball, we need to get 15 first-rounders for Giannis, because there is no reason why they should be bullied into making a deal right now. And I hope to God that Horst isn't, because this is so monumental for the future of this franchise that we have to sit pat. There's no reason to move him at this deadline. You maximize offers in the offseason.
No, I all right. Thanks for the call. I'm telling you right now, Sam Vesson, who is with The Athletic, put out a piece on X the other day, and I'm going to play it now for certain, concerning how the Bucks could keep Giannis and get him to sign essentially a supermax deal and not trade Giannis at this point. But it involves the Memphis Grizzlies. And now, after seeing this trade, now it really looks like a possibility to potentially do this if the Bucks decided that they wanted to go in a different direction. And nobody really, outside of Sam, have I seen talk about how do you keep him. Everybody's talking about how do you get rid of him at this point. But there may be a way to keep him. Grizzlies clearly blowing it up. If Jaren Jackson is gone, that means Ja Morant is gone too. I mean, Edie is going to stay, obviously. But outside of that, again, I mean, Gigi Jackson, I'm assuming he'll be available for somebody, right? That's a younger player that has shown flashes of being something. So maybe he can be had for relatively cheap by the Milwaukee Bucks if they wanted to add a piece to try and keep this thing going. But if the Grizzlies are giving it up, it is what it is. How about the Utah Jazz, though? Danny Ainge stocking up picks and doing all this other stuff, and now pushing chips in are the Utah Jazz after all that building for the last couple of years of now trying to compete in the West.
Yeah, interesting deal for sure. Kind of though. I sympathize with Al. Like, it sounds like the Bucks aren't going to be bullied into any sort of deal, and it sounds like they have been underwhelmed by a lot of the trade offers. But this helps the Milwaukee Bucks all day if Jaren Jackson Jr. is getting 3 first-round picks. Didn't Desmond Bane get 4 in the offseason too? Right, like the Bucks need to be involved in getting 6 draft picks at minimum, it feels like, for Giannis at this point. And maybe, like talking about with Brandon, a third team going to have to facilitate, maybe get one more to come to Milwaukee.
I mean, just think about it. I mean, the Bucks are blowing this thing up potentially with Giannis and Bobby Portis and Miles Turner and all of that. But they got a championship out of Giannis and Bobby Portis. Memphis, they didn't even get to the finals with Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson and Desmond Bane. That thing never worked like they thought it was going to work. And part of it is Ja Morant's fault for getting all that trouble and having all of those issues away from the floor. Plus, he also has been getting hurt and can't stay on the floor. But I mean, a couple of years ago, do you remember with Dylan Brooks how cocky and arrogant and condescending that team was? They were trying to be like the Pistons bad boys a couple years ago.
Had that grit and grind, right? You know, they had Zach Randolph come in for a long time where he was a part of the Jailblazers, right, back in the day. Like, and then Gasol also being just a prototypical big man underneath. Like, that's just how the Grizzlies have been operating for as long as they've been in Memphis, at least, it feels like.
Yeah, it is quite crazy if you think about how this whole thing is played out. Only got a minute here, so we're not going to be able to get to the rest of the match.
We'll do it as kick off the 1 o'clock hour.
Top four list. So you guys can get that to that with our guy Mitch Nelles. I'm going to talk about some coming up on Wisconsin Sports Daily as well. Tim Dillard, Brewers analyst, will join us coming up this afternoon at 3:20 on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Talk about the new TV deal. It appears all their jobs are safe based on what Rick Schlesinger said, that everybody that's been on your TV broadcast, him and Vinny Rottino and these other guys are all safe, which is good. So we'll talk to Dillard about that, and we'll get his thoughts on the Brewers fantasy camp they just did, which I'm sure was a lot of fun. Saw pictures from that. And we'll also pick his brain on the Brewers offseason. The Athletic gave the Brewers a B for this offseason. I wonder what Tim Dillard will give them. That's all coming up again at 3:20. It's the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Mitch Thunder Nelles turning 50 today. He joins you next.
A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nelles, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
Oh my God, you're so old.
Oh,
gosh. Twice my age, dude.
Oh,
wow.
This will be the last time.
Last time we can say
we got
that.
13 days, right?
13 days until that's no longer true. But
oh my gosh.
Happy birth month and birthday from us here at the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, Mr. Thunder.
Thank you. Good day. Hour number 2 of the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon. I missed high noon. Had some family stuff going on to take care of. Glad to be here. I'm looking all around like my home office. I don't have like a crown or anything in here. Like I was trying to see like, is there a crown I should be wearing? Like, what am I supposed to do for my birthday? Besides celebrate are we celebrating the Memphis Grizzlies for getting a bag? Like, are the Bucks next? I know I listened to Sparky with his boy from Portland. That was cool. And all these trade rumors going around the NBA. I know we got some Packers stuff to get to. And Tommy, we ate well Sunday night with Mason. Did you eat well again with Mason last night? I need to know.
So
happy birthday to me, by the way. 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Talk and text line. 414-677-1250 if you want to send that in. Also, I have it up on the Thunder MKE Facebook page, but if you want to send in, what was your best adult birthday party? That either, probably that was for you, but it could have been for anybody. Share stories, get crazy. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. Good food yesterday at Moe's, as there always is. It was an early night after just a little bit of dinner. But Mitch, like you were going to pop in a little late. We were already kind of done when things wrapped up. We got a surprise visitor yesterday. And as I was sitting there with our good buddy Rob Hall and Mason Crosby, my mother walked into Moe's yesterday. Yeah.
Mommy Tommy?
Yeah.
Is she like, you took her there for her birthday, so now she's a regular? Like, what's going on here?
Apparently she was in the area already. I don't even know if I told her the day before or if it was a couple days. Like, she just knew I was going. And I didn't know she was going to be there. However, she did walk in with a birthday present for Mitch Thunder Nelles that is now sitting at your desk. I didn't look at it. I didn't peek it.
So
I don't know what it is.
I should have come.
But
we had sophomore parents meeting at the high school from like 7 to 8, and it got done at like 7:40. So I was like, maybe I could catch the tail end of dinner. But then like, one kid needed help with homework, and Raw was on.
Yeah, you can't take days off being dad on your birthday. No, there's no days off.
Or acknowledging the blood, or acknowledging my tribal chief. So,
yes, exactly.
As Roman Reigns and CM Punk are already headed for WrestleMania. Well, I'm looking forward to Mommy Tommy's present when I come in tomorrow.
Yeah, should be good.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. So thank you. I don't know if there's one person who's like written happy birthday on the text line yet. There's not. So thanks for that. That's great.
you were gone for an hour, I guess.
I know.
We did have a couple pop in here. Brett saying happy birthday on YouTube. Tim, the resident driver of the Mason Crosby Show, pops in, says happy birthday. All right, we got some messages out there for you, Mitch. Yeah. We did kind of promise listeners last segment that we would get to the end of this topic, and I guess now we can gauge it for you. We went through Matt Schneidman's article of The Athletic saying the 10 biggest needs this offseason for the Green Bay Packers, what they need to do. Go
Tommy,
ahead.
First of all, man, that's a lot of needs. Like the 10 if your team needs 10 things, like I'm worried that your team's in trouble.
Well,
like,
he stretches.
Give me 6.
Like here's number 10, for instance, was a third middle linebacker. Okay. And I know you don't care about that.
Yeah, I don't care. Don't care.
You don't care. However, at number 9, very close to our heart, was kicker.
Okay.
And that was either figure out McManus or is there going to be any competition being brought in, right?
Yep. Where is backup quarterback?
Backup quarterback was 7th on this list.
Should it be a little higher? Jordan Love misses 2 to 3 games a year, I feel like. Like, don't you want to – you don't want to go 0 – I mean, we all thought last year that Malik Willis could not – remember, we said this on the air. We said Malik Willis cannot play professional football. Like, he was that bad with the Titans. That in 24, we said he is a waste of a backup quarterback. There's no way the Packers can win a game. And listen, Malik Willis and with Matt LaFleur, they proved us wrong. It was great. But you can't go into games with someone who is actually useless. You can't go 0-3 if Jordan Love is going to miss pieces of 3 games.
I was questioning with Sparky of how many teams actually put this in like a top 10 list. It felt like Green Bay has just had the luxury of Malik Willis over that time, and that now that they saw it, it was, that is valuable, right? Like, how many teams are even thinking of, if this guy is hurt, who should be playing there? It's the fact that the Packers have seen how useful that can be if you do have that luxury.
Hi, I'm the Denver Broncos. Have we met?
Right.
If we just had a guy, we win that game.
Yeah.
Right.
If Malik Willis was the quarterback of the Denver Broncos, they're playing in the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. I actually agree with you. As a Patriots fan, I do agree with you. Like, if they had any reasonable quarterback who could get a first down. I mean, that's the thing. Stidham couldn't get a first down. We thought Willis, when they got him as the backup, we thought he better never play. Like, he was literally that bad. And what we heard from the Titans organization was that he was that bad. He proved everybody wrong, and it was awesome.
It was awesome. We skipped over 8 and 6. However, 8 was tight end depth. Who cares it was like
they need it though. They do need it.
6 was offensive line depth, and number 5 to make it more. It gets a little more centralized, and specifically with this position, a center in general was number 5. Whether or not they're deciding on Sean Ryan or others. Now,
how much is Sean Ryan going to make?
He's got to make more than Josh Myers did, right?
Right, so $2 million a year,
maybe, somewhere around there. He's going to make more than that. I mean,
$3 million a year.
No, he's going to make more than that. I think he played well.
He is. If Josh Myers didn't play the whole year, like I bring Sean Ryan back. I think they're all right. I just solved number 5. Bring Ryan back.
I agree. I think the same way. So we have not. No one has heard the top 4 yet of the Athletic, and it gets really interesting here. So let's lump in 4 and 3, because number 4 is interior defensive line depth, and number 4 is interior defensive line depth, and number 3 is defensive end depth. They have been separated into 2 different positions. But Mitch, you could even, I think, make this a bigger deal and say like they need an interior defensive lineman and they need an edge rusher as well, because everyone's assuming that Rashawn Gary's going to be gone. How much faith do you have in Lucas Van Ness taking over, whether or not you thought he improved last year or not? He was not healthy last year, most of the year. Micah Parsons is the only guy safe on that defensive line as far as I'm concerned, and maybe Devontae Wyatt, but another guy that keeps getting banged up every time he plays, Mitch.
Yeah, I think you make a good point about Wyatt, but what I would say about these positions is D-end, you're losing a guy. You're losing Gary. Whether he performed the way the Packers needed him to or not, you're losing a body, and that gives you the opportunity to bring in a body. D-line, and I think that's right, that's 4 and D-end is 3 because you have to go get a guy. D-line, if Wyatt's healthy, D-line's like 6th or 7th. Like, D-line is after center. D-line is after backup quarterback. But that's a big if, right? Like the Packers need Devontae Wyatt. Devontae Wyatt can hold his own. They need more bodies with him, but they don't need like dominant studs or stars or anything. They just need guys who can hold the line, who can take up the offensive linemen, clear the path for the linebackers to clean it up, get Blake Martinez his 150 tackles.
Yeah.
But D-end, they need personnel at D-end. And so that is a bigger deal. I agree with that.
I'm all in on getting some people in there on the defensive line. Mitch, there are 2 positions left on this, and they are positions specifically. You probably know one. I
definitely know one.
Do you know the other one?
I'm not sure I do. I know one is cornerback.
That is number 2 on the list, Mitch Nelles.
What is the question?
It is
the top 10 offseason needs.
How it starts with addressing 10 of these positions. So it says, how can the Packers reach the Super Bowl? ? It starts with addressing these 10 positions. That is the article Matt Schneidman puts out there. And at number 2 is outside cornerback.
Yeah. Outside cornerback is a huge need. Keyshawn Nixon's not a 1. He's a 2. Nate Hobbs is not a 1 or a 2. He's a slot if he can even get on the field. Valentine is a 3 or a 4. Like they're not bringing in a 1, but they need a 1. So if you're not going to bring in a 1, you need to at least bring in a 2 who can play with Hobbs and Nixon. I don't know, like another year, or maybe Jonathan Gannon has the keys to unlock Hobbs, and Hobbs can be of relevance. But man, Hobbs couldn't even get on the field this year. Tommy.
Another name not even mentioned in this article at The Athletic for Matt Schneidman. Trayvon Diggs is completely forgotten, right? And I know he was released.
They released him.
I know that, but there's no thought that maybe he's coming back in any capacity. The Packers are not interested in bringing him back. Do you think Micah Parsons has any influence on whether or not Trayvon Diggs has a job next year? I don't say you can't plan on having Trayvon Diggs by any means, but it's not worthy enough to say who, by the way, in this article, in the center position, brought in Tyler Linderbaum's name, which is a 0% chance of happening.
You just made up a name, bro.
He's probably one of the best centers in the league. Okay. Yeah. It's not happening. He's going to catch a bag. Trayvon Diggs is not going to get the contract he got with Dallas. He's just not.
Could they bring him back in? Sure. I think that's possible. I think that was a lot more possible when we were talking about Al Harris. I don't know what Jonathan Gannon and his group will think of Diggs, but I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised if he came back. Just because, like, if you're going to bring him back, and unless they have a handshake deal, like, listen, I don't know how it works in the NFL. Like, I don't know if him and Matt LaFleur left on good terms, and they're like, hey, we're going to release you, the contract stuff, whatever, but we want you. We want right of first refusal. Like, we want you back in if you're going to look at signing with somebody else. And I don't, again, like, at best he's a 2. Like, we know he was a ball hawk the year he was amazing, but the past couple of years he's been terrible,
right,
and picked on and targeted. And so I don't know that makes you that much. I mean, the only thing I would say about him is that in that one game against the Vikings, every time there was a running play or a pass to his side, he went in for the tackle. Like, he did not avoid, like Valentine, and avoids contact like the plague.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if they liked that about Diggs, but again, Gannon throws a wrench into this whole thing, because we don't know who's a free agent from Arizona. We don't know who Gannon liked on that defense, who he be, are there any young players there whose deals are up, who are unrestricted free agents, who are just kind of like young, the 40th guy in the roster that he might want to bring in to fill out his roster here. With a new defensive coordinator, he's going to have a voice in Goody's ear.
So now, after we've talked about all of this, have you limited it down to number 1 at all in your head, Mitch Nelles?
Is it a position they need to make a change at?
Something they have to address.
Something they have to address.
It is a specific position.
And listen, the positions we haven't talked about starting quarterback. We haven't talked about wide receiver. We haven't talked about starting tight end. We haven't talked about linebackers. We talked a little bit about middle linebacker.
The number 1 position on this list, according to Matt Schneidman, of which the Packers have to address this offseason to be Super Bowl contenders next year.
If it's head coach, that's not a position.
It is left tackle.
Left tackle,
which, assuming
that's the number 1 position,
that's what we have in this article here, and that is of the assumption that Rasheed Walker is obviously gone, which I don't think anyone is really in love with anyway this past year. But Mitch, like, the plan is Jordan Morgan. I thought, right. What are we doing?
Yep. No, that's the plan. And even if it wasn't, and if they were trying to bring back Rasheed Walker, like, he's serviceable. Like, he's good enough. He's not great. I don't really want him there.
He's going to make $20 million on the open market.
Yeah, then somebody else can have him. But the plan right now, you said it. It's Jordan Morgan. Jordan Morgan's the plan. Like, what do we need to address? Like, is Matt Steinman's point is that Morgan can't play football?
I don't think it favors. I looked at it even on the opposite end of the spectrum when at number 10 it was that third inside linebacker. I
Right.
feel like that position would be higher up on the list if he didn't think that there was a stronger chance that Quay Walker could be getting an extension.
I
Right?
was going to say, if Quay Walker walks, isn't linebacker a bigger deal than left tackle?
I think so. I really do. I love Quay Walker's game, and I know that Pro Football doesn't necessarily love him on the Pro Football Focus. I know that some of the latest ESPN rankings had him in like a top 25, 20 range for free agency, but I really do believe that people are going to take that for granted to show off the speed that covering the outside on Quay Walker and Edgerrin Cooper, right? You have one guy run this way, one guy run that way. Their interior, maybe, yes, definitely still room to improve, but you're rocking out there with Isaiah McDuffie, who everyone seems to always be underwhelmed with his play, or Tyron Hopper, who we never see play at any point either.
Right. We don't know. Incomplete, right?
Incomplete.
Incomplete, right?
Left tackle being the number one position to address. Mitch Nelles, your thoughts?
That doesn't. I'm not buying. I guess we got to ask our buddy Kuhn next time he does his vodcast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
got it.
That he should ask. Should not like break down that list and tell us where you're coming from, because I would say the rest of the offensive line is a bigger deal on left tackle. Like we assume Jordan Morgan at left tackle. We assume Zach Tom healthy at right tackle. We assume Belton at right guard.
Probably right now, leader in the clubhouse at least.
And
Aaron Banks.
And Aaron Banks, although the more Packers beat reporters talk about it, the more they think Banks could be gone. That Banks makes too much money and he did not deliver on it this year. And that Banks could be gone. Like that his job isn't safe.
Yeah, so looking at Spot Track again right now for his 2026 season, it would be a potential of they would have this 1 year, $29 million deal last year. It would like all go back to last year with Aaron Banks. Yeah. They would save $4 million if they cut him.
Yeah, which isn't a huge amount. You're not really making a difference. But if it means a young cornerback or a young center or something like that, like that's a position player that you can fill in. And the Aaron Banks experiment didn't work. And guess what? Aaron Banks on the open market is getting like 3 years for 45. Like that, like everybody, he got, he couldn't stay healthy. And then even when he played, he was not great. But left, I don't know. Like we got to talk to Schneidman. Like we got to talk to him. Kuhn's got to talk to him. Trevor and Josh, I know they have Schneidman on their show. Somebody's got to ask him like, what is behind this? Because it doesn't, when you look at what the team needed this year, they did not lose because of left tackle.
No,
they did not struggle because of left tackle. Like that was not a position of need, even with Rasheed Walker leaving and Jordan Morgan moving to left tackle. That's just not where I would go.
Well, and there was an obvious regression in Rasheed Walker. It felt like from 24 to 25. I think people can recognize that. So that's why there is no real effort to retain him in Green Bay, plus of what he's going to get out on the free agency market. How many people have we had on, Mitch, when we try to complain or criticize Jordan Morgan's play? Their first words are, he's a left tackle. Right. He's not a guard. He's not a right tackle. Right. He's not someone that's supposed to be, even though that was his whole draft profile, was how versatile this guy is and he can play anywhere. Now the next line of defense is, well, he's not playing the position they wanted him to play, which was ultimately left tackle. So if Rasheed Walker is gone and moved on for the Green Bay Packers, then why is it not addressed already that Jordan Morgan is the starting left tackle? Like that is the plan. Why would they have to address that?
But they wouldn't. And because free agent hasn't started yet. Like Rasheed Walker is still a member of the team right now. Like free agency hasn't started. We haven't addressed personnel. You don't address personnel right now.
Free agency also in the NFL, I feel, is very different than any other sport. Because in the NBA, free agency barely exists, right? You're signing role guys. Everyone else is getting their contracts. You either get paid by your team so you can get traded somewhere else if you want to move. You're not sacrificing money. Just with how it works out in the NBA, free agency seems very irrelevant. In baseball, free agency is the most important, right? You can bring in guys to get those super mega deals, and you get your Kyle Tuckers, you get your Alex Bregmans, you get your Shohei Ohtani from a few seasons back. In the NFL, in free agency, ultimately, Mitch, kind of means your team didn't want you. Like, you're not as valuable as you see fit. Like, free agency, now it's a bad I guess an example of it is in working in positive is Sam Darnold, right? Sam Darnold goes and is the quarterback. He leaves in free agency. He's the new quarterback of the Seahawks.
Quarterbacks are always going to be different in this conversation, though, right?
But ultimately, you make the deals work in the NFL for the guys you want on your team. And you could say that in the other sports, but baseball, for instance, the Brewers can't pay Alex Bregman $41 million a year. So if he was on the team, he's got to leave because they can't make that deal. In football, everyone's working with the same money under the same cap. Yes. So you have been decided on that you are not wanted, and that's got to be a reason for that. And that's kind of how it feels with Rasheed Walker.
Right. And I think that's fine. Like, I think that's fine. Free agency starts in a month. And so it's not truly relevant yet, but going in with that assumption is fine. 414-677-1250. Your thoughts on this list. I mean, to me, cornerback is number one. It's a no-brainer. Nothing, and honestly, nothing else exists on this list. If they clean up cornerback, they can win a Super Bowl.
I think second edge rusher needs to be also really high.
Doesn't mean they will, but if they clean up cornerback, it makes your edge rushers better.
Sure.
Right? If they had a true shutdown and a true number two, your cornerback room is good enough that all of a sudden LVN looks a lot better.
Yeah.
Even Rashawn Gary would have looked a lot better with a competent cornerback room. Like, they have a competent left tackle on the team. They don't have competent cornerbacks on the team.
If they had, could you argue it the same way? So in your logic, if they can get cornerback figured out, they can win a Super Bowl. If they had a second 10 sack a year guy on their team, can they win a Super Bowl with this cornerback room?
No, I don't think so. I think it's close. I think they can win a playoff game. I don't think it's quite enough. I think it's just, you're just not
all
there.
Right, just gauging.
Yep. 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. I am 50 today. It is my birthday. Happy birthday to me. What's your favorite adult birthday party that you went to? I'll tell everybody about my 40th birthday party when we come back. And I know Sparky talked about the Bucks for a bunch, but we got to talk about what's going on in the NBA. Maybe they trade Miles Turner back to the Pacers. Who knows? They're shopping for a big man. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. This is the Mason Crosby Show. My name is Mitch Nelles, a.k.a. Thunder. We are brought to you by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. I'd say it's a human Tuesday for Mason today, but it's not really. He's actually the featured guest at a Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame luncheon today, as we all know, with our buddies Brian Lammy and Mark Cass, who run the Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame. I said to Mason last week, we really should have made this a breakfast. And then Tommy and I could have come to breakfast, and then we all could have done the show together, like from the event or something. But like, I thought of it last week. They started promoting it like 4 months ago. So like, wait for me to be on top of things. Hi, happy birthday, Mitch Nelles.
Yeah, a couple of things here. 1976, the year, Mitch Nelles. Do you know
Rocky
was
the picture of the year?
Yes.
And Ordinary People, maybe?
Marathon Man was a good one at the time, but the big album, the Eagles' Hotel California, came out.
Really? That was
year
76?
too.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's an all-timer.
Who won the World Series that year? If you had to guess.
Hold on. No, I don't have to guess. I used to know everybody till like 1950, and now my brain doesn't work anymore. 77 was Pittsburgh. So 76 was 78 was Dodgers Yankees, and 81 was Dodgers Yankees. 80 was Kansas City Philly.
I mean, you're just naming every year other than 1976.
I know, because I literally can't remember. Oh, well, 75, of course, was Reds and Red Sox.
Yeah.
Because I was in the womb for that when Carlton Fisk waved. I was in the womb waving to get that ball fair as well. 76 was the A's?
It was the Reds as well.
The Reds went back to back against the Yankees?
I would, yes, against the Yankees.
Okay.
I would have, if I had to throw a guess, I would have probably said like Big Red Machine. I wouldn't have gotten anyone else that you named around it there, but I knew they went back to back.
Joe Morgan, Tony Perez, Ken Griffey Sr., maybe?
Pete Rose, also pretty famous.
What year were you born?
2000.
Who won the World Series?
The Yankees, because they went on a crazy run in that time frame there.
Yeah.
I believe the Ravens won the Super Bowl and the Lakers won the NBA championship. No idea who won the NHL championship.
Yeah. We have another trade in the NBA. A 3-team trade between the Pistons, the Timberwolves, and the Bulls. The Timberwolves get nothing.
Nice.
So I'm not exactly sure how that works. And all they give up is Mike Conley Jr., who was put backup point guard at this point in his career. Jaden Ivey and Mike Conley Jr. end up with the Bulls. Kevin Huerter and Dario Saric go to the Pistons. Detroit also gets a 26 first-round protected swap from Minnesota. So I don't know if it's purely Minnesota salary dump of Mike Conley Jr. Jaden Ivey's a decent player. I don't know that, they're two Pistons and Bulls both in the Bucks division, but I don't know that this, if the Pistons are really looking to gear up to make a run, I don't know that Kevin Huerter and Dario Saric
do you know how Chicago Bulls it is to be like, a week ago, I think their odds were plus 4,000 to get Giannis. And then yesterday it was like plus 220. It went up ridiculous. There was a bunch of buzz that Giannis going to the Bulls could be something happening.
Never happening.
And now you're settling for Jaden Ivey and Mike Conley Jr. instead of getting Giannis.
And Jaden Ivey's a nice player. Like, don't get me wrong, but just some hoops rumors. The Cavs are worried that they won't be signed Donovan Mitchell. That might be why they're looking at James Harden. And again, the Pacers looking for a long-term answer at center, and they're looking at Dangle Benedict Mathurin. I don't know that that's the guy I want if I'm the Bucks, but they can have Miles Turner back for free. How about that, bro?
You
just pay him.
Just give Miles Turner the contract and the rights over there. We'll take a washing machine if you got one over there to make the clubbies have a little bit easier of a job. Do you think these trades are promoting that Giannis will or will not be traded in any one direction? Because this Jaren Jackson deal,
that's a great question.
3 first-round picks. If he's getting 3 and a bunch of players, Giannis needs 12. I would like 8 first-round picks for Giannis Antetokounmpo if Jaren Jackson's getting 3. I mean, we were saying that after Desmond Bain got 4 first-round picks.
And Rudy Gobert.
Bridges got 5, right? Didn't Bridges get 5? I don't think the Bucks are. And we had Alan Cedarberg call in earlier in the first hour, bring it up. Horst cannot be bullied into a trade. I don't necessarily think that he is getting bullied into a trade either, Mitch.
Yeah, I don't think he is. I don't think they trade Giannis by Thursday. I don't think anybody's going to offer them. I think they need to wait to see what the salary cap looks like at the end of the season, what the draft lottery looks like at the end of the season. I just don't. I don't think unless because we got the news yesterday, right, that they are going back to all the teams that they got proposals from and reproposing, unless somebody blows them away. Listen, if Golden State comes to them and they say, all right, so you get, whatever we're offering and all the picks we're offering, and we're going to bring a third team and a fourth team in, and we're giving you 3 more first-round picks.
Right.
Like, so there's 8 first-round picks plus Kuminga and Pods and Butler's. The Butler's, I don't think it's expiring. I think it's expiring next year. So unless somebody blows them away, I just don't think I don't think they're making it up.
Well, they can't.
Oh, go ahead.
I just said they can't.
Yeah. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Talking text line. 262 says, happy birthday, young man. 414 says, happy Thanksgiving, Mitch. I love that. Happy Thanksgiving to you. 353 says, happy birthday, Thunder. I bet you thought 40 to 50 went super duper fast. I have news for you. 50 to 60 years old, it goes even quicker. 920 says, my wife turned 50 in August 2009. We had a flock me party where everyone had to bring a yard flamingo. We had about 50 guests. We had a blast. It's a good time to have a party because when you get in your 60s, you'll be going to bed at 8 p.m. That's Ron and Rome. Scotty Tiffany says, happy birthday, Thunder. Being an introvert, I really don't have birthday parties. But for my 30th, the one that hit the hardest, I bought myself a sports car. That's pretty sweet. Ron says, disco was big in 76. It was a great time to be in college. I bet it was. And 414 says, happy 50th birthday, Thunder. I'm only a few years ahead of you. And damn, how can Tommy be the same age as my son?
Yeah. I mean, that's just
Tommy,
math.
you are everyone's son. You are like that's your role on this show.
Well,
like I'm Unc.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And Mason's dad, even though I'm kind of dad, but I'm Unc, Mason's dad, and your son.
Yeah. We did this, was it with you on Sunday where we determined like I'm like everyone's son and everyone thinks this way. Like Mason Crosby's dad is younger than my dad. Right. Like it's just how things worked out in this way. And the maths, bro. I'm sorry.
Right. Maths. For those of you who don't know, men, there's no cap really on when men can have kids, as opposed to women who have who breed life and give life and are the most amazing creatures on earth. Like there's a time where women can't bear children anymore, where men still can.
I always just get associated.
I'd say it's fair.
I just
said it's science.
It is fact. It's not even fair. It's fact.
Right.
Yeah. I always get associated, I feel like, with Josh's age group more than I do with Charlie's age group too. And like Ed also an IT, right? I'm always over there. And people just kind of think of like, that's why I think Charlie gets looked at as son as much, but I can be the son of the Mason Crosby show. I'm cool with that.
Michael writes in, he's a Cleveland fan, though he lives in Milwaukee. When I used to live in Los Angeles, there was a pool hall that had $10 per person. All you can drink beer, wine, and non-alcoholic beverages. Since I was part of a lot of social circles, I'd invite all my friends, each with a +1, so that way guests would feel comfortable not knowing many other guests and be encouraged to start conversations since there were others who were in the same boat. Fun and relaxed social dynamic. That's kind of what I do for my birthday. Is like typically in the past, the past 3 or 4 years, I'm going to sit in my white chair and I'm going to sip bourbon. And the house is going to be open from like 6 to 11. And you can come in and you can talk to me or not talk to me. My only rule is, and I actually feel like I want to enforce it this year, is like you have to talk to one person who you don't know. And, I've never actually enforced that before, except for with my mom. My mom came, like every year my mom comes and I'm like, Mom, there are people here you don't know. Go meet one person that you don't know. Because she and like my uncle would stand in the middle of the kitchen just talking. And I'm like, you guys have known each other for, let's see, my uncle's younger and he's 72. But like, you guys have known each other for 72 years. Go meet somebody new. Justin writes into the show, friend of show, Armin brought me to see Matchbox 20 and Alanis Morissette at the Bradley Center one year. That was cool. Matchbox 20 and Alanis Morissette, is that your vibe, Tom?
It was a little before me, yeah.
I know it was before you, but like you're a little bit of an old soul. So I was wondering, like, if you caught that vibe.
I think music, I stay a little more contemporary most of the time. I don't go deep into my bag. Unless it's like super old school, like give me a Sinatra or something like that. Like,
how much do you love what's her name who won New Artist?
Oh, Olivia Dean.
Yeah,
she's a banger. She's just she's awesome. I mean, I only cared about that, and I've done that with you here at the office whenever you're in. I mean, like she's unreal, and her voice is. I mean, she's gonna be a legend. She's gonna be a legend for sure.
414-677-1250. My question, and this is for tomorrow and for Thursday as well. Remember, the trade deadline in the NBA is Thursday at 2:00 our time, so it'll be rolling in right as Mason and I wrap things up. Where I don't envy John Horst right now is not only is he getting these trade offers for Giannis, whether it's Golden State, whether it's Atlanta, whether it's Toronto, whether it's Houston, whether it's New York, whoever it is, he also has to trade the other guys. Like this isn't Giannis sweepstakes, all or nothing. That's it. Like they need to figure out what to do with Bobby. They need to figure out what to do with Kuzma. They need to figure out if you get a great offer for Miles Turner, you figure out what to do with Miles Turner. KPJ's hurt, so that's kind of tough. But Ryan Rollins, do you think him and KPJ? Do you think together they're the future of the backcourt? And can you get rid of Gary Trent for cheap? Do you need to keep AJ Green? Or like everybody is available right now, and how much is he like as we're starting to see these other deals start? Like the trade deadline is now. We are 48 hours away. We're starting to see the deals be made. Is John Horst in on all these deals while he's dealing with the Giannis situation? I know he has a staff, but that's a big job right now.
Well, I mean, let's put it as simple. If Giannis is available, no one's off the table. Like, that's just the simplest terms for Milwaukee Bucks basketball.
But I guess, but more than that, like, how do you focus it? How do you prioritize your job? Like Tommy, I need you to produce the Mason Crosby show presented by Verizon. But I also need you to host 5 to 6. And then I need you to get ready on Wednesdays for Hot Stove League. So you're booking Jake Bowers.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. But are you also you're juggling a lot of balls, and you're a 25 up and coming superstar in this industry. You're not John Horst, who needs to prove himself and do something right now. Like, you have a lot of balls to juggle. I can't imagine John Horst having to juggle all those balls right now with the Giannis offers and needing to talk about literally everyone else on the roster to make sure they put themselves, not just roster-wise, not just winning, but also salary cap-wise, to get them in the best position possible to sign Giannis to an extension and to bring in talent that's going to make him happy in the future.
It's not even that we have to see him juggle. It's that we are sick of seeing him juggle just tennis balls, Mitch. Now you got to go to chainsaws, like at this point, because he has juggled by trading for Damian Lillard, by giving away 5 second-round picks for Jay Crowder, by finding a way to waive off Damian Lillard's contract and bring in Miles Turner. That's juggling. He's been juggling. It's now that everyone's sick of the tennis balls, and you need to like set him on fire or some point and see if he's any good at it.
I love that. Real quick, 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talking text line. 608 says, I bought a brand new Harley Street Glide last year for my birthday from Rhino.
Nice.
Schwartz Center says, happy birthday, Mitch. Best adult birthday party was my 40th. First time having our new friend group of parents of my kids' friends over to celebrate. I got a good stick of some delicious whiskey. Just a fun night had by all. And 920 asked Tommy, are you on Twitter or X? And that would be at Tommy WSSP, correct?
Correct.
At Tommy WSSP. That's our Milwaukee affiliate of the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, WSSP. I'll tell everybody about my 40th birthday party coming up when we come back here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Happy birthday, Thunder.
What's on Mason Crosby's mind today?
Now I'm thinking.
It's time for Extra Points, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nelles.
Tell me what's on your mind.
On the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
This is the Mason Crosby Show, but I'm Mitch Nelles. It's my birthday. Mason is off. He's working today, just not here. Just a quick financial update. We did tell you earlier about the Timberwolves, Bulls, and Pistons trade. Jaden Ivey going to the Bulls, Kevin Huerter going to the Pistons, and Minnesota basically just dumping Mike Conley Jr. on the Bulls. Minnesota creates significant tax savings and roster space as they pursue a Milwaukee star this week. The Timberwolves are trying to get under the luxury tax. They reduced their tax penalty from $24 million to $3.9 million. So they saved $21 million by dumping Mike Conley Jr. This gives the Wolves more flexibility in a Giannis pursuit. If the Bucks ownership decides they don't want a long rebuild and want to be moderately competitive with Julius Randle, Jaden McDaniels, Naz Reid, and no picks, this would be the best hypothetical player offer among the 4 reported primary offers.
So, are you kidding me?
No, they wouldn't make that trade. They would need pay. That's why Minnesota would need a 3rd or 4th team to get involved, to get at least 3 number ones and those players. And listen, Julius Randle is an all-star. Like, he's a nice player.
Sure.
Naz Reid's good. Jaden McDaniels. Like, those are 3 NBA starters who would make this Bucks team immediately better with Giannis.
Right.
Not necessarily without Giannis, though they'd be a lot better if Giannis is just hurt or they're shutting Giannis down. They'd be better. But that would be so weird if they just traded for 3 starters and didn't get like 1 pick.
I just threw up everywhere.
Yeah,
no, I'm not doing that.
No, I get the.
You still don't have any picks until 2031. So why would they do that? Absolutely.
Right.
You get
Right.
no
They have
picks.
this year's pick and 2031.
Now imagine if the deal came in 4 first-round picks for Naz Reid, Jaden McDaniels, and Julius Randle. That sounds like a terrible trade.
Yeah, that does.
Right. So no.
Yeah. No, I agree. 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law talk and text line. Because I was scheduled to not necessarily be in, what do we got coming up on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's with Sparky today? That I'm glad I give him an hour off. Like, listen, can Sparky do 5? Can he do the shows? Of course. Like, Sparky is like the ultimate professional when it comes to sports talk radio. And I was going to say, like, in the Wisconsin market, but anywhere. Like, Sparky, I know Sparky's done other markets too, and he can do an amazing job. But I also felt like, you know what? Let's give him a rest. Maybe he grabs a double stack or a Baconator or whatever it is from Wendy's, because I know he loves that stuff. I love Wendy's, and I want to give Wendy's a shout out. But I also wonder, like, can Wendy's change their promotion to, like, after any Bucks game, you get a free Frosty, just because there's not going to be that many wins the rest of the year.
They should change it from Tendies to Sparkies, because he loves the new Tendies.
I love that.
So
I love
too.
the Tendies. Man, dude, I could live on Tendies. 1 year in Vegas, we were there for spring break in college, and every meal I just did. I went to the cafe of whatever casino we were at, and I just had the chicken tenders or fingers, and I did like a blog on it, and it was like, I don't even think the casino. I think Aladdin had the best, and they don't even exist.
What
anymore.
else you got coming up for your birthday there, Mr. Nelles?
Not a ton. We got Whitefish Bay. JV is going to be in Pewaukee tonight, so that's always a battle against Pewaukee. They're always a strong program. Might hit up some Indian food tonight, depending on what the homework situation is again for the kids. And then we're going to have a little shindig, but not for a couple weeks. We went out Friday night. There was a party at the Argo, a 90s party. We got pretty lit at for old people, and it was off the chain and off the hook and all those sorts of
MC
all those
Hammer,
90s,
I
right? All the things we said in the 90s,
right.
It sounded cool when I said them that Friday night. It doesn't sound cool
I wouldn't
today.
know.
Yeah. And I have tomorrow to look forward to, because I'm going to get Mommy Tommy's birthday present. That's for me at work. Thursday, I think I'm bringing in some donuts for the staff. So because the staff isn't there on Wednesdays, but they're there on Thursdays. Yeah, so that's what I got going on. I'm just excited about Jake Bowers tomorrow night. Like, are we just talking about? Can we just talk about Jake Bowers for 2 hours on the Mason Crosby Show tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean,
are you okay?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. I know it. Like, who else could create appointment radio for Jake Bowers other than me? But like, I'm pumped. I'm jacked up.
Tomorrow, 5:30.
Andrew Vaughn going to join us in the second hour of the show too.
But
Both first baseman coming
Hold on, but are you just going to ask Andrew Vaughn, like, how long till Jake takes your job? Are you going to cry when Jake takes your job?
I don't think
Will you still be a good pinch hitter when Jake takes your job?
Oh, God, don't. We got to close the show.
All right. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nelles. In for Mason Crosby today. Steve Sparky Pfeiffer and Gentle Giant Charlie Usen. Coming up next, this has been the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. And Tommy is doing it in the studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
I was